let us hang out, so we get to know each other, we do some rehearsals and all. And he was quite keen that we didn't sort of really meet each other too much before the film, because he wanted that tension between both the characters, so we don't become buddies and hang out and I regard him as my guru, my first teacher of acting that I had amongst many I've had in my life. And he was the first one that came in and taught us how to act during Hippie Pure. I don't think I would really want my children to watch me in a part like that, or the characters I choose to play do exist in reality, and I can't be judgmental about them, and I have to play them to the honest best I can.
Hi Purab, welcome to ETimes. Blind trailer looks amazing. You presenting a totally different side to us, a very mean and maybe a bit scary and edgier side. It's a shooting experience. So like in the middle of the pandemic, you all decided to shoot. So how was it?
It's not true, yeah, he's a very nice guy.
You're very scary, but let me tell you.
क्यों नाम खराब कर रही है उसका बेचारे का?
नहीं, बहुत डर लगता है. That look in the eye is very edgy.
Yeah, it is quite a frightening character, and he is a very frightening person, quite evil. To answer your question, yes, we did shoot in the pandemic, and 2020 December and 21 January, February we had filmed the movie. And it was pretty hard, I have to say, because एक तो ठंड बहुत थी, हम लोग स्कॉटलैंड में शूट कर रहे थे, and it was pretty cold, -7 to -20 some locations that we went into, which was my house especially in the film, and snowed out, all night shooting, and then come back to the hotel, and we were in a bubble, so we couldn't leave the hotel. Plus the kind of character I was playing was quite dark and lonely. So it was a difficult shoot, but I mean, it's just judging the response that people are giving, journalists are giving us, and audience is giving for my look, for my what you see in the trailer. I hope I can deliver the same satisfaction in the film, but it just feels great and feels like अच्छा काम किया हम लोगों ने, and then all of that gets forgotten, how hard it was to make the film.
Any prep you had to do for this role? Like, it's pretty intense. So,
I mean, like any other role, you try and sort of research and find out what this character goes through, try and track. I mean, though the character is evil and it's hard to find and interact with people who are serial killers, so you can't really sort of go down and easily meet many of them. But I mean, reading information, reading real life incidents, trying to understand what base emotions these kind of characters, or any character that you play, where they function from, what is the base emotion, is what you try and tap into and try and empathize with that, and then bring out those nuances in the character to portray what is written.
Right. Was it difficult, like getting out of it? Are you one of those people who?
Yeah, it is hard. It's hard work. I mean, you get into a part, and it's an intense part. It takes a little time for it to shed off you, to clean off that skin. It does play on your mind. It does disturb you. And with any part, you feel these things. Even if it's all happy-go-lucky, sometimes you don't agree with certain good qualities also of a character. As a person, you think, I would never do that. Itna matlab acha nahi hu main. So those qualities also can affect your psyche in a certain way, and your own personal judgment into things later on, because you're thinking of doing something like acha, that character said whatever, you have these thoughts come up. So I think every character has its cleaning process, and you have to sort of let go of them. And I think time and doing things that really is truly you kind of helps you get back to yourself.
Also, have you watched the original Korean movie?
Yeah, the first time Shom told me about Blind, he told me, he showed me the film. So he sent me the original film and he said, watch it. And he didn't tell me which part he was offering me in Blind. He just said, watch the film, and this is the film I'm going to remake, and I want you to play a part. So I said, what part? He said, just watch the film now and tell me what you think about the film first. I'll tell you the part later. So I saw the film, I loved it, and he said, "Which part do you want to play?" So I said, "I like the. I mean, the killer is the good part." So he said, "Okay, I'll let you know." And then about 4 or 5 or 6 months later, he sent me the script, and then he said, "Read it," and I read it, and I said, "Yeah, it's translating well." I had a few little issues which he tackled quite beautifully, and then that was it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Also, I know Shom from a very long time, so it was nice to. I was looking forward to working with him.
Also, if you could share a bit about working with Sonam, like her character is visually impaired, so
Yeah, I
your
mean,
interaction.
a lot of people are asking this question, but to be honest, I didn't have so much interaction with Sonam in the sense when I remember when Shom first came to London to meet me and Sonam to on the film, and I said to him, I said, "Why don't you let us hang out, so we get to know each other, we can do some rehearsals and all." And he was quite keen that we didn't sort of really meet each other too much before the film because he wanted that tension between both the characters, so we don't become buddies and hang out and that. And especially with my character, no actors. So if you see the film, you'll realize that my parts are very separate from everybody else, and the parts I have with everybody else is very sort of standoffish, and it's like far away. It's like not standoffish is the wrong word, but I'm standing away from them and doing my own thing. So interactions with the other cast was bare minimal. I mean, I think Vinay and me were in the same hotel, so we used to go to walks together in the evening. That's about it.
Yeah, Vinayji shared really nice memories yesterday when I spoke to him. He's like, "Oh, it
Yeah,
was so nice to with you
yeah,
guys,
because
sort
Vinay,
of with you."
yeah, I started my career with Vinay Pathak, so and I regard him as my guru. My first teacher of acting that I had amongst many I've had in my life, and he was the first one that came in and taught us how to act during Hippipure, and I have great respect for him and his work. And we've had some wonderful times shooting Hippipure 25 years ago. And after that, this was the first time I had a
Yeah,
chance to
that's what he
play
mentioned
with
as
him.
well.
Yeah. So it was nice catching up with him, and every evening, him and me would go for a walk together before we started shooting in the nights. And it was lovely to hang out with him. Actually, he was the cherry on the icing. He was the icing on the cake uh, for Blind for me.
Also, going a bit beyond blind, how have your choices changed after becoming a parent? Like, clearly it doesn't look like it has changed with blind, but have you become more conscious?
I've become more conscious. Yes, I have become definitely more conscious. Blind, not so much, but uh, you know, other. I have refused stuff also that I feel I don't think I would really want my children to watch me in a part like that. Or so I have refused a lot of stuff that has come my way in the past couple of years that my children have been born. Last few years, 7 years now, my daughter. But I do. So I do. I am conscious. And I think these kind of people the characters I choose to play do exist in reality, and I can't be judgmental about them, and I have to play them to the honest best I can. And what I also focus on is explaining to my children the nature of acting and the job I do and the kind of films I work on, and hopefully one day they'll grow up and be old enough to understand and appreciate the kind of performances that I've done and the characters that I've played. I hope for that, and I mean the only thing is we can expose them to these things.
Also, if you had to sum up your journey, like from VJing to TV to films, now OTT, like even criminal justice, like when I saw you playing the dad in that, for a minute, I was not sure if it was you. Like your
Mm.
body language was so different in that show. So I had to actually Google that who's the cast. So
Hey, Shivani, I mean, I try and attain that with all my parts that I've played. What excites me the most is the director tells me, "Oh, I want you to look very different in this," and I'm like, "Yes, that's what I want to do." You know, and I'm glad you say that because I've got that many times in my life. I mean, right from when I did a film called Wo Lamhe for Vishesh Films many years ago, which Mohit Suri directed, and so many people came after that. It was the first time I sort of really experimented with a look, and I was quite chuffed by the end of it, saying that, wow, this is. and the people don't recognize me from the film. They're like, is that you? Is that you? And then immediately after that, I did Avarapan, which also people were shocked. That was the first time I played a negative role. And people were like, oh my God, is that really you? I mean, my Nariyal wala, who I used to go to every day to drink Nariyal Pani, he's like, कहाँ आपका पिक्चर नहीं देखा इतना टाइम से? ऐसे अभी तो आया था आवारा पानी से, आप है? ऐसे अरे तू रोज मेरे को देखता है नारियल पीते हुए, तेरे को पहचाने से नहीं पहचाना ही नहीं मैं. So I think that's happened then a lot after that. I mean, of course, KD was the whole beard business, but then you saw me again as myself with the second part. Um but I try and achieve that. I mean, if you look in the last few years, also there was Typewriter, which I looked quite different, and then there's. I like the look in Bob Biswas a lot, but it's a small role. But I really enjoyed playing that part. I wish if they ever do another Bob Biswas, that part comes back. So he
Actually,
was
so
the
he's
first one to die.
unrecognizable in a lot of movies, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy looking different, and so with Blind. I mean, Blind is, I think Simon, who's the design, the whole makeup and hair, and with Shom, I think they really came up with an amazing look for the character. So the look does it all, you know. I mean, just the hairstyle and the eyes, they're so creepy. I'm wearing some lenses actually in the film, and I mean, that is half the job done. You know, the look is cracked. Then you feel it. You know, when you dress up as that character, you really get into his shoes and you feel him. And I think Shom really was very clear on how he wanted this character to look and feel, and that instantly helped me get into the character every time I dressed up like him.
So, lastly, if you could just shed light on what you're shooting right now, like what's
Well,
your next?
I'm shooting another film for Abhishek Ghosh, who's the producer of Blind, one of the producers of Blind, and he's doing another film with me right now. But he's also become director now, and he has two releases this week on Geo. There's Blind on the 7th, and then I think the following week he has Ishki Nadan, which he's directed. So
Okay.
Blind he's not directed, but he's directed Ishki Nadan, which is next week's release on Geo. So, and I'm doing another film with him, which he's directing again now. It's called Ahuti, but you have to wait to find out more about it.
Thank you so much for your time and these wonderful replies. Looking forward to Blind and wish you the best with the film.
Thank you, Shivani. I hope you enjoy the film. Please do watch it.
Definitely. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.